Hello, it's Mark Serwotka, the General Secretary of PCS, bringing you a very important update on what's happening with public sector pensions and particularly the civil service pension schemes. Now, a number of years ago, PCS supported legal action taken by our colleagues in the Fire Brigades Union to show that the government's changes made to pensions in 2015 were illegal. And as we've said to you on many occasions since, that case was won in the court. Now, last week, the government finally accepted the consequence of that legal victory and announced that they're going to have to put right the things that they did unlawfully in 2015. Now, for many PCS members, that's going to be excellent news. It means the schemes that people were forced to go into in 2015 were found to have been unlawful, and therefore, effectively, the government must put people back to where they were in 2015. And that position must remain, not just from 2015, but right through until 2022. It means people who had a retirement age of 60, who had a final salary pension option, that option will now be given back to you. And that's going to benefit many of our members to a considerable amount of money. But the better news is this, is that for those few people who benefited from the changes made in 2015, you will have the option to stay effectively where you are, meaning that we will get the best option for all of our members, whichever one that might be. That's a fantastic victory, and it's been achieved by trade unions, and it goes to show the value of being in a union. But there is a sting in the tail. The government, rather than accepting their responsibility and accepting that now they've got to put things right because they acted unlawfully and therefore they pick up the bill, have disgracefully told us that they expect us to pay the bill. And instead of the government bearing the extra cost of this legal victory, they're going to try and pass that on to PCS members and other public sector workers. And what that means is this. We've long told you that the public sector valuations done a number of years ago that showed we'd all overpaid into our pensions and meant that every PCS member had overpaid a minimum of 2% of salary every month from April 2019 up to date. And then you know that we've been arguing you should get that money back. The government have now told us that they're not going to give us that money back. They're going to do a fresh valuation of the pension scheme, taking into account these changes. Now, what we know that means is inevitably the money we should get back will reduce. There is a chance that they will tell us there is no money now available to give back to all of us. And what that means is a very simple outcome, and it's an outrageous outcome. It means the government, as the offender, the party that's been found to have acted illegally, instead of paying the bill for their offence, is seeking to make you, the victim of their illegality, pay for what they did wrong. Now, how on earth can that be fair or just? It can't be, and we're refusing to accept it. So I can tell you now that once we start the process of putting right the things the government did wrong and ensuring that people get choices about their pension moving forward, we will continue to take a legal action against this government to force them to give you the overpaid money back and to do that immediately. And that will take the form of our legal action that's already begun, and we're now talking to our lawyers about how that claim needs to be adjusted to take on board the changed circumstance. But I want you to rest assured of this. We will not accept that illegality should be paid for by PCS members, and our legal action will continue, and we will continue to mount a very effective campaign on your behalf. So let's make sure that we win this victory 100%. Not only the victory that gives people back the pensions they should have, but continue to see that the government pays to put that right. We'll keep you informed in coming weeks and months. And let me urge you to keep an eye out on our website, social media, and for circulars and bulletins. But I'll finally ask you to do one more thing. If you know of a colleague who's not in the union, urge them to join. The more of us who are in PCS in the coming weeks ahead, the more we can ensure that the victory we've already won, we can see through to make sure the government foots the bill and not you. Thanks very much for watching.